All right. I can still barely open my mouth, and the energy levels from the last couple of days since the operation for my wisdom tooth or whatever and my jaw is still rather painful. But I was just looking at the food stuff, which I hope you can see on the screen now, full screen, hopefully. There we go. Ultimate all visible in sweet. Ouch. Yeah, this hurts like a bitch. But I was called to do this little recording and have some fun before I lay down and meditate. And, and these contemplations, like reactions and observations in combination, I would say, has been taking place for the longest time. But let's have some fun with it. I was about to do something like this like half a year ago at like before Christmas, I remember. Oh shit. It's like 10 months ago actually. Yeah, it hurts a lot, so it hurts when I laugh or open my mouth too much or even talk. And it's even 4 days ago now, and still this is the case. The point of this video, I think you will, I think you will find out. Ouch. Okay, so excuse me for having to limit my expression a little bit, but I still want to play this out because there's both what I find to be the fun and the joke of it all, because it is a fucking joke at the same time as there is a seriousness to it also. And considering when you look in these papers, advertisements for different grocery stores, like here's what we got for um, cheaper prices this week around. And usually, I won't spoil it. Let's see. I've only looked through a few pages this time around for this week, this Monday. Um, and well, I was reminded again and again, and I've been reminded again and again that, well, what the fuck are we eating and consuming every day? And just thinking that it's fine, and then wondering why we get cancer and obesity and diabetes and mental health issues and clogging of our arteries, and which contributes to heart health issues. And the list is huge. To acidic bodies, to fibromyalgia and other chronic diseases, so-called chronic diseases. It doesn't have to be that way, but we've been tricked into you're gonna have this for a lifetime. So let's see. Swedish chicken breast fillet, however you say fillet, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I guess that's fine for some, but it's probably pumped with garbage as usual, and it's a dead animal, which you can eat if you want to, but I choose not to, considering what I've come to see and know beyond my personal conviction of things. Um, there is no way that I would consume or be part of killing or the animal agriculture, the industrial complex of it. It's inhumane, and it certainly and unavoidably will cause you karmic imprints. So your choice. And here's another chicken boy, well treated, um, probably so tasty with the shit on the outside, the inexpensive kryddorna, the spices. Coffee, very acidic and also not very good for your kidneys nor binjurarna, the adrenals. And here you got a fucking skinka. And it's Swedish, so it's luxurious when it's from Sweden. You know, and you see that symbol there. It means it's more safe. It's better for you. It's so good. You can't miss out on this. This I would almost say is probably one of the only thing that are actual food without karmic and negative effects on your health. In some cases, though, spinach contains oxalates, so you shouldn't consume too much of that if you have certain health conditions. But this I would consider to be probably, I've not looked through all the pages, but the most healthy thing. And you cannot sustain yourself on calorie-wise and energy-wise on this, even though it has a lot of nutrients. So that's a problem when all of these has more calories and actually give you a certain level of energy. But if these are unhealthy, you're a little bit in the spider's web of consumer culture. And also the magnesium levels and all other nutrients in these plants are not as high as they were before the industrial revolution, that's for sure. But even the last 20, 30 years, we have depleted the soils of vital nutrients. So even when we eat so-called healthy and clean and green and whatever, it's not nearly as good as it was before, because human beings corrupt everything they touch until they wake up to reality and realize that we're not separate from anything else, and that we have to take responsibility together and for ourselves to change this and give back to Earth and not just take and steal. Okay, let's continue. Feta, feta cheese. Very good for you if you want to clog up your system. And well, it has a protein which is um, not alkalizing, but it makes your body sour, and it again clogs up the system and gives way for easier having an easier time to um, not to prevent, but the opposite of that, which I can't come up with in English right now. Mold and swamp in your body if you eat too much cheese. So cheese, like mac and cheese in the US and England, it's so good for you. Totally great. You're gonna really benefit from that. Toilet paper, yeah, let's fight over that again, like we did in the fake COVID breakdown in the beginning of that. If you do you remember that? People were fighting over the toilet paper, thinking that the world is gonna end, and letting the grandmas and the slow ones and the handicapped ones not get any toilet paper to wipe their sorry asses with, while you're rich and healthy. Well, not healthy in the mind, of course, or the heart, but healthy so far in the body enough to steal and take away from others and hoard. So, do you remember that? Do you remember the fake hoax with the COVID era, where people panicked about toilet paper, which may actually become a real concern? This is the cheapest price I've seen in a year, or at least half a year. 28 crowns per kilo. Um, the cheapest I saw yesterday was 40 or 50. So this is a good price. And maybe these two is the most important and healthy things you can find in the whole fucking grocery store. And this is not gonna give you any, energy, but it's sure gonna make sure that your genitals and butt is clean as it should be. And here's some korv of some kind, some skinka, some ham, just like this ham here, but in another package. And I forgot to mention, this is in plastics. So putting living, healthy, good food in plastics. Yeah, enjoy all the microplastics that the body cannot get rid of too easily. Very few has the functioning body enough to get rid of um, microplastics and so on. So essentially, not a single healthy food object here. Um, not at least in the holistic sense. There's an issue with all of this. Salami, some more dead animals, some more dead animals, and some more ham and dead animals. And why not have some more cheese, and even some more cheese for an overly insane expensive price for that matter. So the addicts of these products are not able to sustain their addiction as easily, which is perhaps good in a sense, because it may cause people to use less of it. But on the other hand, it's happening due to this price. And that's also a thing with this whole whatever video this is. The prices, if you haven't noticed yet, you are probably blind and need some help, or you're just not observant yet of the so-called external reality and how things are changing and shifting over time. The prices have gone up a lot the last couple of months, and all the food objects except one that I buy has raised in price. Um, Fake honey, or well, it's probably honey, but you should eat raw honey, not some industrialized garbage. Um, Bullar, cake and all these kind of things, and bread, all the gluten and all the sugar and all the shitty ingredients to make you crave this pretty cheap shit. 5 crowns, it's like, yeah, 10 crowns is like €1 or $1. You could, for the English natives, English speaking natives, and otherwise the non-Swedes, just for reference. Um, yeah, some bread. And of course, not healthy ingredients ever when you buy these things in the store. Uh, Keks, checks, whatever you want to call it, all this hard bread, and it's not even hard bread actually, but it has that kind of crumbly, kind of tasty thing that we also get addicted to. That's why we love, except from the salt content too, that's why we love chips and such. It's that crunch. Um, Not healthy either. No good ingredients in here. Fruit drink, I don't even want to know how much fake artificial shit there is in these guys. Fruit is amazing, but we need uh, close and preferably homegrown, or at least community grown, so it's not old and sent from Africa to Sweden, laying in, passing electrical EMF systems and different types of pressure, and it's getting old for 2, 3, 4 weeks before we use it. Where are the greenhouses in each commune or community or state, if you want to put it like that, province maybe in Sweden or other countries for that matter? Where and why do we not um, grow our own food? Where is the taxes that human slaves are paying for their labor? We're paying so much of our money in Sweden and many other countries for what exactly? Where's the healthcare? Where's the safety? Where's the proper education for children and adults? Where is the um, knowledge about how we can sustain ourselves and take care of ourselves and trade goods with each other? That it doesn't exist. So fake fruit to drink, Proviva, yeah, 23 crowns, usually about 28 to 30 plus, I think. So a bit cheaper price, and I think there are some one or two good ingredients in here. Many of the taste of these ones are pretty good, at least were. I only tasted one from a friend in the last, well, in a long time. So something good there, but it's 1 liter of, you know, it would still be much healthier to get your real actual fruit. Um, so maybe this food item is usable. Soy is shit for you. One of the not few, but rather few things that I would say is inflammatory and not positive for the estrogen and testosterone matters and balance of the body. Surely there are many tasty kind of yogurts and soy-based vegan blah blah blah, but it's also probably the cheapest and most commonly used thing. And what do we know at this point, guys, about the most commonly used or commonly known things? Justin Bieber, commonly known artists, commonly known this and that. The things that are famous, the things that are big in the big scene of things and whatever franchise, usually isn't that good for you. Um, Radio music, for example. There's real music and then there's a plastic music. Something of the soul and heart, and something of the that soothes and further ties us to the grip of the ego mind, the false self. So yeah, I've drunk. Do you say drunk? And yes, my jaw and my fucking face and my missing tooth hurts like shit. Is it the missing tooth that is hurting, or is it the hole that is left behind in my heart? No, I don't know. Green kale, and it's Swedish, so it's safe for you. You can trust the Swedish flag totally, because Sweden is such a good country. Uh, there's, I'm not even gonna go into that. Anyway, usually it's not eco, it's not organic, and kale I'm not sure how it is within Sweden with added chemicals and stuff on it because it doesn't need to travel as far. But not only what did they possibly add to it after it's been grown and sent away in this plastic again package, always fucking plastic instead of hemp and so on, because we're not responsible humans yet. And maybe we won't ever be because extinction is coming as we don't grow up at some point, it seems. Um, Usually, what did they grow this shit with? Is it the whole, true, genuine growth process that is natural, or are there artificials um, in regards of fertilizers included, which it probably usually is? Decent price, it's fine and it's very tasty, but and also very healthy. But again, as with other plants and fruits, and with oranges, for example, not as much of the vitamin C and magnesium and trace minerals and so on as it was in the past, because we are taking more than we are giving, which is not the way of life. We're not in balance with life. Pears, usually you find them being hard as a fucking rock. If you want to break your teeth and get a dental surgery, that like I did, this is a good option for you. And they are also usually pretty filthy on the outside. I love a really sweet, good pear, but if you look at the nutrient in a pear compared to some other fruits, it's not nearly as good. But also, of course, if you just want to enjoy something that is decently healthy and tasty, you should live a little, like a friend of mine said. Well, you can do that if you want to. If unna sig själv to live a little, eat some fucking garbage. That's I deserve that. No, no. Either way, this has the potential, and with the Swedish flag too. My God, it's so safe. The Swedish people really know what they're doing. Mass vaccinating people. It's safe. You can trust the authorities because they're Swedish, right? And we were once up till, was it 2008 or so? It began to go downhill. Maybe later, actually, 2012 especially. Um, is it a safe country, or is it a rape country of Europe? Um, Lots of violence and killings and injections of fascist agendas and manipulations of DNA and so on. And for that matter, going on, I'm not gonna go further into that. I was close to. It's not very good for us. So many things are not good for us here. These are essentially in their true form, but we don't know what they've been sprayed with. It doesn't say. How are you to figure out? Usually you can't get contact with the companies. If you can, how do you know if they are genuine and honest? Mostly people are, which you may have been finding in regards of business including big medicine, big pharma, big food, and so on, and for that matter, government and their um, well, the functions and the different corporations and so on. Are they healthy? Are they humane? Are they honest? No. So the common state of humanity right now is deception and lying. So I don't buy into that, and I hope you don't either. And if you have, that's fine. We all fall for sick, narcissistic people. Sometimes I let myself in the past to do that too. I didn't know any better at that point. Well, I did know, and yet I didn't listen to my intuition. Either way, plums, potential to be good, but usually plums and I can't remember the nektariner in Swedish are usually one of the dirty dozen that they call it, one of the most sprayed shitty ass foods that you can eat. Not because plums are bad, or not because these have shell, like these have something around the flesh that you want to consume, the juice. This is good. So if you want to buy not organic things like mango, oranges, citrus fruits, it's not as important there, because usually, at least, it's hard to avoid getting not anything. You know, you're cutting with a knife through this to get to the flesh and the juice of it, and it's pretty much unavoidable for you not to get any of the outsides, which is covered with chemicals again, um, into your mouth. Passion fruit is so tasty. Either way, this is, I would say, But even here, if you cut that in half and a knife that has just touched the outside here touches this stuff in here, you will still get the pesticides and so on, or whatever they are using on each food object. And usually there aren't just one or two of these pesticides and garbage on our fruits and vegetables. It's a shit ton, about 5 to 50, 60 of them. Strawberries is exceptionally high in added chemicals. So if you want to buy strawberries, frozen or otherwise, please do it organically. Bristlecall, I personally like it with garlic and some salt or whatever spice, persilia to it. I can't come up with the word right now. I've been sleeping, falling asleep to 7 or 8 in the morning for 4 days in a row, and it's pretty painful. My mind isn't working too well. Crystals, if you want to kill, speaking of killing, we have so much killing instinct here in the human species. So why not kill some flowers? Show someone that you love them by giving them something that is alive and beautiful and take its life and shove it up their ass. I've been giving away flowers a couple of times to my mother and a previous girlfriend too. Um, I'm not sure where I stand if I'm able to do that anymore ethically, because again, like with animals, what I've seen from within myself beyond my sense of separateness, in other words, my ego, my personality, I can tell and I've seen full force with tears in my eyes that my life is not more worthy than than this soy drink. No, I'm kidding. Than than these flowers. They're sacred too, just like you are. Not your ego, it's not sacred, it's false. Just to make that clear. But these flowers, they're beautiful, but why take and grab something beautiful, pay a shit ton of money for something that is naturally free and flowing, um, just to have something. Of course, it's about the intention and blah blah blah. But if you know that you're just contributing to all of this fake not even capitalism has a potential in a healthy society. We are not a healthy society, not a conscious society, to actually be probably the most so far uh, worthwhile um, way of going about the economy and the buying goods and so on. But that is in the typical sense of capitalism, and it's awful. But true capitalism could actually work. Either way, we're just yeah, let's go through the other ones just a short. Here's some def if you want that. And of course, now for the meat eaters and so on, now you think I'm judging you or thinking you are worse people than me and I'm so self-righteous and arrogant and I'm a much better da da da. I don't give a shit what you eat, really, not at this point anymore. I know people are doing unconscious mistakes all the time in every area of their life, relationships, work, ethics, it what they're eating. It just yeah, there's nothing to do. There's barely any resistance to it anymore, and it's pretty cozy actually. Either way, and I could go into also what would be a possible solution for having the meat and against vegetables, against vegan crisis solved, but that would have to be a whole video in and of itself. And don't forget to breathe, my friends. Pancakes. Do you want to check the ingredients for this fucker? I don't think so. Um, Calcone, turkey. Yeah, why not prepare for it? You're just gonna celebrate with your family and friends and eat some steroid loaded garbage. Um, and of course, eating death and expecting life in return. So wise, so wise. Fake potato, what do you even call it in English? Let's see. Potatis gratäng. English. Potato gratin. These sauces, so many of these I ate when I was younger with family and even when I started living by myself. These kind of sauces, it's absolute shit for your body and your body won't thank you and your body doesn't trust you when you keep pushing shit into it. How will you ever befriend your body and for that matter come into balance with the body and the mind and realize that you are awareness itself if you're constantly doing things that is hurting you and other people and other animals and beings and living beings basically. Chocolate, yeah, there, yeah, there's barely any cacao in here, and even their claims, and I'm open for that, and I've experienced myself that even so-called raw cacao and cacao in general, sure, it has a lot of magnesium and a lot of feel-good chemicals, and you can probably do it here and there, but for some people with low kidney function, and people with a sensitive nervous system, it's even, and that's a pure, well, not pure as it is advertised to be, but it's not too good for you, especially not, again, the commercial stuff that you find everywhere. Coca-Cola, I wonder how many billions and billions of people, this brand, and OLW, Estrella, and so on. I wonder how much they've contributed to ill health, disease, and immense costs for society, and immense costs and traumas and limitations and addictions in people's lives. How many have Coca-Cola alone been part of killing with their, well, widespread, well-known brand and shitty ass products that I too drank when I was stupid. Um, and of course, I don't mean necessarily that you're stupid if you're still drinking garbage, but there's a part stupidity in it, and we just have to be honest about it. Of course, your true being isn't stupid. Our ego is, including the ego that's still left in this boy. Shampoo, lots of chemicals. It's not something that is cleaning you up, but it's filling your skin with garbage. And what is the biggest organ in your body? And what it's the skin, and it's kind of all over the place, the head from top to toe. And they're usually not genuine chemicals in here. Chemicals and substances can be natural chemicals and substances too, but of course you don't put it in these cheap ass products, because here it's gonna look good, shine with that red plastic garbage shit. Probably a lot of BPA plastics and a lot of colors and da 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 da. And washing your clothes with some more chemicals that if you breathe them in and also have them on you, and for that matter, most clothes that people use, including 90% of the clothes that I bought in the past, are not at all healthy for you because, again, the skin is the biggest organ, and it takes in a lot of shit. So when you put fake chemical makeups, when you put fake shampoo, and what is balsam now again? Right, conditioner. Yeah, conditioners, washing your clothes, washing your dishes, or well, hopefully you're cleaning your dishes, not only washing them. Do we seriously think that we're doing ourselves a favor? Maybe we should spend a couple of 100 hours like I, or thousands of hours for the last couple of 10 years to actually look into things. Of course, you don't need to deep dive as much as I have. Um, it's not necessary for having a pretty normal and decent life. And I'm only saying normal and decent life because there's a higher way of being and living too. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with these materials and whatever you consume to do with. Spirit is formless and beyond all these limitations of the body and the mind, context and spectrum of things. Shit. It's total shit with a lot of fake shitty ass, maltodextrin sugar, real fructose sugar from raw living fruits. That's good shit. That's good sugar and carbohydrates. And our brain mainly runs on glucose. And so don't buy all the anti-sugar lies. It's just that most of the sugar that we consume are in conserved, packed up old shitty ass products. Fake sugar here, fake, 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 fake. And when you buy sushi, there's a lot of fucking ass sugar in that, and it's not like they're putting, sugar from orange in the rice when you go to eat at a restaurant or something. It's that fucking addictive garbage, that the cheap addictive garbage that makes you come back for more, that makes you feel fucking hopeless and useless. And if you don't feel that, it's subconsciously suppressed in you. Trust me. Um, bread. Don't don't even. Don't even. uh, ice cream. I was recommended for the issue, and I eat a lot of ice cream and things that can't get stuck in that fucking hole while the hole is in my where my tooth once was, and the jaw thing that they was doing when it's healing. Eat a lot of ice cream. Yeah, let's put some more sugar and chemicals in there. It's probably gonna help a whole lot. Just because it's smooth and it's not like a pumpkin seed or something, or a chips, something that can scar the tissue, it doesn't mean it's good for you. But most people, after having done a wisdom tooth pulling, extraction, whatever, they recommend you to eat something that will soon enough drag you back to the miserable experience of being in the hands and surrender to the hands again of the dentists, many of which are not so competent as you may think, um, typically, or at least people thought that in the past. Oh, I can give my whole life away to authorities and I just blindly listen to whatever people say. I'll inject myself with fake vaccines, eat a lot of ice cream at the same time, by the way. And these solutions are usually really bad too. This also has to do with washing your clothes, all these fucking dairy products, all these milk products, all the deaf animal products, and even all the fake shitty ass that is giving products that are giving veganism a bad rep, and no, I'm not going around like, oh, I'm a vegan, I'm so special. That's just how I eat. It's not an ideology, even though there could be arguments for that too, of course. Some more dairy products. What is it called? Let's see. I can't come up with a name now. Again, barely any sleep. Cream. Yeah, some more whipped cream and eat some pudding, and some fake juice made of. So, what have we learned from this, my friends? One, that I love you and that's why I do this, and because it's a lot of fun. Even though it hurts like shit right now and I want to talk for the rest of the evening and hope this heals back. What have we learned? That there are like three objects here. Okay. It depends on how you look at it. Like there is potentially 6 to 7 objects in these 8 pages that are decent for you. Decent, but it still won't cover your energetic slash caloric intake to sustain weight and healthy function in other ways more than just the nutrient density, which, well, it's not as nutrient dense anymore. It's hopelessly and yeah, falling down to zero if we continue living like we are. Again, theft, full on theft and stealing from nature, because we only expect to have our fast food, fast services, fast this and that, and get served but not serve in return, which is inhumane. It's not in accordance to and or in relation to our true nature. So anyway, these have the potential to be good. And of course, in bread you can find there's probably something, a small speck of good in even in the fucking cheeses, protein and whatever. But the protein lie has to be exposed already. People has to come to know that we don't need so much protein as we were tricked into believing, and we don't necessarily need animal proteins. Eat it if you like, but hunt your own fucking animal and show that you're a real man, not eating something that other people have taken care of for you. Um, of course, you can be a woman and do it too, but usually women are a bit more sensitive and intuitive about things in life, so they don't just do anything and cause suffering and pain to others. And then consuming death and expecting life in return is just stupidity. Either way, so, Jordan Peterson's daughter, she seems to do well and saving her health with only eating meat. But the meat you are getting from these stores, industrial meat, is not what she is eating. And for that matter, still, she is still going to suffer the consequences of the karma and the trauma, which is implicitly in placed and installed and imprinted in you, whatever you want to think, whatever you make your rationale into. You can't avoid it. So the most healthy thing I would say here, maybe it's chemical laden as well. We don't know that about the toilet paper here. We can't just blindly trust things. I'm not saying you should go around and not trust everything or anyone or no one about anything, but at least be open to that things aren't, which anyone of at least a speck of a percent of being in the right mind should be aware of by now, 2022, almost ending 2022. All these sausages, all this ham, all this cheese, all this acidic fucking garbage that is clogging up your system and making you a miserable cunt and a weaker human being, a less humane, open, loving being. Yes, food can contribute to that, not essentially, but since people are not living from the essential, if you think yourself to be material, you will, and which is most of the people, probably 95% plus to various levels and degrees, you will be affected by what you eat and consume big time and how it affects your awareness, consciousness. It cannot really, but let's not get into that because most people don't understand this realm of the human experience anyway. My point of this video is having a little bit of fun and exposing the fucking garbage that we're eating all the time and then complaining, oh, my mother got cancer and she didn't do anything wrong, it happened by itself. Yeah, sure. It's a little bit tiresome, having to hear people suffer again and again, repeating the same mistakes. You can even mention it to them that, like, if you're playing video games 12 hours a day, never move your body and eat fucking garbage and inject yourself with fake vaccines. Nah, it's just a random coincidence that you're getting health issues. No, don't kid yourself. It's painful, and I feel too much empathy and care for humanity and all living beings to not bring these things up, which people who have seen my videos, seen what I'm writing in regards of worldly matters rather than the purely spiritual ones, which the latter is more important, by the way. Um, you probably know this by now, that all of the research and insight that are gained over the years and trying to understand the human condition, both psychologically, philosophically, um, health and not so healthy, all the systems of society. It's not just for, oh, this is going to help my personal life. It's for the benefit of all. And I'm not saying that there's an ultimate, yes, I'm right about everything that I'm saying here, but there are themes and patterns that I'm 100% sure of that I'm not wrong about, including all the fake medicine and fake big food and the fake media. So consume what you will. I love you and appreciate you as you are anyway, as long as you're not intentionally hurting someone or others. It's very hard to respect that. There's a love in the heart for everything that is happening, but there and everyone. But the mind, of course, the psychological mind can never be completely at peace with injustice and will act hopefully righteously, truly righteously, not self-righteously, in moments of where actions needs to be taken for the benefit of you know narcissists and psychopaths or uh, the so-called toxic masculinity possessed people are like trying to rape someone or something. You can just stand there if you're seeing someone is about to get into a, I don't know, awful situation and like, nah, everything's perfect, it's fine, it's all good, I'm moving. No, you're just afraid to confront and be there for people, and that's an externalization, manifestation, a mirror of you not taking care of yourself. You are being afraid of yourself, which everyone I looked in the eye. They too, but only three people except them are living constantly in fear to various degrees. And of course, I'm not saying that this is our true nature. That is the nature of the persona, the mask, the ego cannot do anything but be fearful. And of course, um, I digress. No, I'm not going to agree to that either. It would be a very, very long experience, and we're already up to 40 minutes almost. Pretty insane. Now it seems like a playmate of mine says 14 and he wants to play some Age of Empires and kill some peasants. Just like we, the peasants, the slaves of the system, are being killed off and tricked into going into useless wars for the seeming, not real, benefit of the psychopath leaders that have no care whatsoever about you. They hate us useless eaters, as they call us. So let's get real. Let's wake up. Let's have some fun. And let's live a little bit, but you don't live a little bit by drugging your children with tons of candy instead of being there with them for them. You don't live a little bit by soothing yourself every single fucking day with all the distractions and all the stimulation and all the garbage foods, all the fucking shit that doesn't belong in your body, your human, beautiful temple. Our life is for freedom, not for suppressing the real, the true, the genuine, the original innocence. So get yourself some toilet paper, wipe your ass, and have a good day.